In 1769, a British explorer named Captain James Cook sailed his ship, the Endeavour, into a bay on the far side of the world. He had found New Zealand, a land already inhabited by a people known as the Maori. This encounter marked the beginning of a long and complex relationship between Britain and the Maori people. Cook's arrival brought new goods and ideas. It also brought new diseases, which sadly made many Maoris sick. The British saw New Zealand as a land of opportunity, with fertile land for farming and resources ripe for the taking. Over the next few decades, more British ships arrived. Whalers and traders set up outposts, and some settlers began to make New Zealand their home. The Maori, skilled warriors and farmers, were initially wary of these newcomers. The first encounters between the British and Maori were a mixture of curiosity and tension. The Maori, with their intricate tattoos or moko and strong warrior traditions, intrigued the British. They were skilled in warfare but also placed great importance on hospitality and respect. Trade flourished between the two groups. The British brought muskets, metal tools and fabrics. In return, the Maori traded flax, food and land. However, misunderstandings arose due to cultural differences. Concepts of land ownership, for example, were very different for the two cultures. As more settlers arrived, competition for land and resources increased. This led to conflicts, and the relationship between the Maori and the British became increasingly strained. In 1840, in an attempt to bring order and establish British law in New Zealand, the Treaty of Waitangi was signed. This treaty, considered New Zealand's founding document, was intended to be an agreement between the Maori chiefs and the British Crown. The Treaty of Waitangi had three main articles. It promised the Maori chiefs that they would keep their authority over their lands and resources. It granted the Maori the rights of British subjects, and it gave the British Crown the sole right to buy land from the Maori. However, the treaty was written in English and poorly translated into Maori, leading to different understandings of its terms. This difference in understanding would have a profound and lasting impact on the relationship between the Maori and the British. The arrival of the British brought significant changes to Maori society. The introduction of new diseases had a devastating impact, decimating the Maori population. The increasing demand for land by settlers led to conflict and the loss of Maori land, which was central to their identity and well-being. Traditional Maori ways of life were disrupted. Many Maori were forced to adapt to the new economic and social structures imposed by the British. They found themselves increasingly marginalized in their own land. However, the Maori people showed resilience. They adapted to the changing times, holding on to their language, culture, and traditions. They began to organize themselves politically, seeking to protect their rights and interests in the changing landscape of New Zealand. They fought to retain their land and autonomy. Section 5, finding a new balance. Despite the challenges, the Maori people were determined to have their rights recognized. They challenged the injustices they faced through petitions, court cases, and protests. They formed political movements to advocate for their interests. Gradually, New Zealand began to acknowledge the Treaty of Waitangi and its importance. The Waitangi Tribunal was established in 1975 to investigate breaches of the treaty and to help right historical wrongs. The New Zealand government began to implement policies to address the grievances of the Maori people. They returned some land and resources and made efforts to revitalize the Maori language and culture. Section 6. The Journey to Independence. As the decades passed, New Zealand's identity began to evolve. The country developed a unique culture, a blend of Maori and European traditions. New Zealanders began to forge their own path, distinct from Britain. This growing sense of national identity led to a desire for greater autonomy. New Zealand gained increasing self-governance throughout the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Finally, in 1947, New Zealand adopted the Statute of Westminster, officially making it a sovereign nation. This marked the end of its status as a British colony, although ties with Britain remained strong. Section 7. A modern nation emerges. In the latter half of the 20th century, New Zealand underwent a period of significant social and economic change. It transitioned from an agricultural economy to a more diversified one, with a growing focus on industry and technology. New Zealand took an increasingly independent stance on the world stage. It developed its own foreign policy and forged new alliances. The country became known for its progressive social policies and its stunning natural beauty. It also became a popular destination for tourists and immigrants, further diversifying its population and culture. Section 8. Scars of the Past, Hopes for the Future. The legacy of British colonisation continues to shape New Zealand today. The Treaty of Waitangi remains a source of debate and discussion as the country grapples with its colonial past and seeks to build a more equitable future for all its citizens. The relationship between the Maori and Pākehā, or New Zealanders of European descent, has seen progress and challenges. There have been efforts at reconciliation and understanding. However, disparities still exist in areas such as health, education, and economic well-being. The journey towards healing the wounds of the past and creating a truly just and equitable society continues. Section 9, New Zealand Today, a blend of cultures. Today, New Zealand is a vibrant, multicultural nation. It is a country where the past is not forgotten, but where people are striving to learn from it and build a better future. The Maori culture is an integral part of New Zealand's identity, enriching its art, music, language, and society as a whole. New Zealand stands as an example of a nation coming to terms with its history, seeking to right past wrongs and forging a new path forward. The story of New Zealand is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the power of cultural identity, and the enduring hope for a more just and harmonious world.